Okay, so we are at the Dunamis Muay Thai gym, which is Jake Peacock's gym. He owns this gym. We got Reiss Baxter, Scottish slash a little bit of
Yeah.
Irish in him, right? So we've met a few times now.
Yeah.
At the Muay Thai World Cup.
100%.
Maybe around other places too. A couple of times at Urdu Martial Arts and stuff like that. We don't know each other too well, but we know each other. So we're gonna get to know each other a little bit better this time, okay? So Reiss, before we get into this, I kind of want you to introduce yourself as a fighter. You know, tell everybody where you're from, your Instagram, how to find you, things like that.
Yeah. My name's Reiss Baxter. Originally from Scotland, Glasgow. Moved here about 10, 11 years ago. Train at Dunamis. My Instagram is Reiss Baxter, just my name. Been training for about coming up on 2 years, I would say, roughly. Before, I mainly played football, soccer for all the Canadians out there, but in my heart, it's football. I love the sport of Muay Thai, and I just can't wait to get more fights in the future. 10 years ago, so I moved here in 2012, I think it was.
2012, okay.
Yeah, roughly. So I was about 11 or 12 years old when I moved here. I'm 23 now.
Okay, you're 23 now. So, you know, when you were in Scotland, did you do any martial arts there?
No, not really. Like, I think in general, I just come from a bit of a fighting family. A lot of my uncles were in the Navy, the Air Force. A couple of them boxed. But I've always kind of grown up around martial arts. Always watched MMA, boxing, but never really dabbled in it myself. I started doing jiu-jitsu probably about 15, 16 when I kind of stopped getting interested in football and wanted something a little bit more. I think I did jiu-jitsu for 3 years, roughly. But then again, I just kind of got the urge to do something a little bit more violent, if you want to call it that.
So you played football slash soccer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We're talking about soccer. Let's
Yeah,
say soccer
I
here.
know I keep saying football.
Right,
That's why my kicks are quite good, I like to imagine.
I was going to ask you, like,
100%.
Jake also did soccer.
Yeah.
Slash football, whatever. His dad's kind of a star there.
100%.
He has a gas tank of a soccer player.
Yeah.
So
lots of running.
So is that like the same kind of background you have in your body?
Yeah, like I always found myself a little bit more fast twitch. So I did a little bit of track and field during high school and junior high and whatnot, and I was always quite good at the 100-meter dash. But again, I played soccer games 90 minutes, 45 minutes a half, and no bother. But my long distance running is good. I've got a gas tank in me for sure, but I also do have that fast twitch muscle, the power, the speed, the acceleration. So I like to think I'm good in both aspects of the game.
Cool. So you had that background. You know, for a guy that kind of just started fighting, doing really well.
Thank you.
What's some secret sauce tips that you can give to accelerate your learning like you did?
I think it's just about determination. I think if you really want something, then you give it everything you've got. I would say I've done this for about a year and 8 months, right? But the amount I train, you could probably boil it down. I've trained for about 4 years. Since I've started, I've trained 6 days a week. A lot of the time, 2 times a day. And again, this isn't a joke to me. It's not. I don't think it's the type of sport where you can come in and, excuse my French, but piss about. I think if you're going to do something like this, you need to be serious, and if you don't, you get hurt. So when I do something, I give it 100%, and that's just the type of person, to be honest.
I want to talk about your Muay Thai World Cup fight previously. So you fought Richard.
Yeah.
Richard had a pretty good record going in. A lot of knockout power in his fights. He has a lot of power.
Yeah, quite explosive as well, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. And you took care of that power somehow. Do you remember the fight much in your head?
Yeah, like that was my second fight, like proper amateur. That compared to the first one was night and day. The first one, it was just like a flash. Just kind of, I was in there. I remember kind of being in the ring at the beginning, then just the fight felt like it was over. There's like points and breaks in the fight where I remember, but I'm always quite conscious while I fight. But the second one, I was a lot more calm, collected. I kind of feel the same way about this fight compared to I did with the last one. My game plan essentially is to just break somebody. It's the best way I can put it. A lot of guys think they're tough, and again, all due respect to Muhammad. They get nothing against him whatsoever, but a lot of people think they're good until they come against me and they get cracked, and that changes the demeanor a lot. Again, no disrespect. He seems like a great fighter, powerful, durable, comes from a great gym. I've got a great relationship with his teammates, Anthony. I've met Damien. All seem like great guys. He's coached Lewis and Vanessa, great people. But I think it just boils down to who wants it more. And at the end of the day, I think I want it more. So that's how I think I deal with it.
Cool. So when you were fighting at the Muay Thai World Cup, that was like almost a year ago, I think.
Yes, April. So about
April, right?
7 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time's flying by.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So catch me up with what you've been doing between that time.
So I was actually meant to fight in June. I was meant to fight on that Muay Thai World Cup that was in Didsbury. I think it was June 22nd or something like that.
Yeah, got cancelled that one.
Fell through, so just honestly been took maybe like wouldn't even say any time off. I just kind of chilled a little bit after that for about a month. Kind of had a little bit of a reset. Looked for more fights towards the end of the year. Couldn't find anything. Was trying to fight July, August, September, and nothing really popped up. And then this came up in November. It was either this or Muay Thai World Cup in Ontario. So there was a possibility I was maybe going to fight out there, and just no really opponents kind of matched up well, and we couldn't really find anyone. So we looked for trial by fire, and we got this fight.
So how did you get the trial by fire fight? Was it this discussion? You looked around?
Yeah, like I spoke to my coach Quinn about it, and when we kind of figured out I wasn't going to fight in Muay Thai World Cup, I told him that I'd like to fight in trial by fire. I did kind of mention that I would like to fight Muhammad, and it wasn't even really that I thought it was a good matchup or anything like that. It was more just the fact that I found out he fought a guy that was his debut and they let him fight full rules, and I went from fighting full rules in my second fight. Usually that doesn't happen until you've got 4, 5, 6 wins. So I just kind of wanted to, I didn't really want to have to fight on trial by fire with headgear and shin guards on, because who wants to do that, to be completely honest. So I said it would be good if we could get a fight with Muhammad and do it no gear, just because it's somebody we knew for his gym, and it came true. So happy with that.
Have you done? Were your previous fights? Well, the Muay Thai World Cup one was full rules too.
Yeah, that was full rules,
right? So
and then the first one was modified.
Okay, what was modified? Like just shin pads and stuff.
Shin pads, headgear, still 10-ounce gloves, no elbows, no knees to the head. So I was when Jake first told there, I think it was me and 3 other amateurs that fought on Muay Thai World Cup: Carter, Julian, and Aiden. When we first all got told that we were going to fight no gear in our basically second or third fights, we were a little bit hesitant but excited at the same time, and I lived up to that excitement. I don't mind wearing shin guards, but when it comes to the headgear, I can't stand it. But still, I'd rather fight with no shin guards, if I'm being completely honest.
Cool, man. So we're about, what is it? How many days we got now? This is 7. So we got 6 days. No, wait, 5 days.
5 days.
5 days. 5 days till trial by fire 16, right?
Yeah.
There's not much time.
No.
Between now and then, what do you still got to do?
Not much. I think everybody says the same thing. When they get to this point in the fight camp, you've already done the hard work. It's just about kind of tapering the weight off now. This 145 is quite heavy for me, I would say, if I'm being completely honest. I only walk about 155, 156. Right now, I'm no far off that, so a light cut. Trained the day a wee bit. Did some strength and conditioning, last strength and conditioning session. Some shadow boxing tonight. I'll hit some pads tomorrow with my friend Kieran, and then I'll probably train a little bit Wednesday with Jake, and then Thursday probably just chill out, and then Friday weigh-ins. So,
yes. Speaking of training with Jake, so you're here in one of the top gyms in Calgary, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say the country, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're definitely not wrong in that.
Yeah.
How is it? Like, how's it for you? Like, you're training with Jake. Like, how does that feel?
I think it's brilliant, if I'm being completely honest. That's one thing I just don't think there's any gym in Calgary, even in Canada, with the level of guys that we've got when it comes to even something as simple as sparring. Quinn, Jake, Scott McKenzie, like the level of guys, even all the MMA guys. We've got John Ewan, who is a high level MMA fighter. We've got all the Atma brothers; they're high level MMA fighters. So just the bodies that we've got in the gym and the guys that I get to train with, Jake, including yourself, is just unbelievable. I don't think there's really anywhere else with this type of environment. Not even when it just comes to training and sparring, just the way we structure our classes and the technique that goes into the thought process is the main thing for me. I feel like a lot of gyms have just got this hardcore mentality of work hard, which is not wrong. Don't get me wrong, but I think we've got a lot more on the technical aspect, and I think you see that when a lot of our guys fight. We're not just brawlers. Julian might be a bit of a brawler, but I like to think of myself a bit more of a technician. We can always bring that dog out, but I think in general we're very technical fighters, and we show that when we fight.
Mm-hmm. You know, so we talked about your past a little bit. We talked about your soccer. You did your fights at Muay Thai World Cup. You're doing Trial by Fire, and you're saying you're putting yourself into this 100%. Your family has like background in strong bodies, you could say, like Navy guys and all that stuff.
100%.
Where do you see yourself in the future? Well, like, what are your goals in this?
Again, I don't do anything halfway, so there's only one destination for me, and it's one championship. I think that's the only place people really want to go when they get into the sport. I'd like to fight a bit more internationally in the future. Doesn't have to be soon, but hope next year fight. I was just speaking to Jake about it, maybe 3, 4, 5 times next year. Get the ball rolling a little bit more. But just step by step. I'm still young. I've got time. I don't need to rush it. Mm-hmm. As long as I keep winning and training hard and going in the direction I'm going, I think I'll get there eventually.
So going pro, when do you think that's in your cards?
So that's probably, I like to set small goals, right? Like of course the end goal is one championship, but the goal I like to go for now is 10 amateurs at least, minimum I'd say. 10 to 15. If I can fight 3, 4, 5 times a year and get to that range, keep winning. I'd like to say I just turned 23 in July. I'd like to turn pro by the time I'm about 26. So 25, 26, 2 or 3 years. I think that'll give me enough experience as long as I keep fighting. And I feel like the only difficult thing about turning pro in Canada is when you turn pro, it's a lot harder to get fights. That's probably the only difficult thing, and that's why I'm saying I would be fine with fighting internationally. Obviously, I've got my UK citizenship, so if I want to go fight out there, it's not a problem, which I would love to at some point, but in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. Are you open to fighting in Asia? I have connections to Hong Kong Muay Thai,
100%.
I'd love to.
It's always been a region of the world I'd love to travel. I've traveled a lot in Europe, but I've never really went out east.
Okay.
Never. So it's always been a place.
I'm going to sign you up.
100%.
Yeah. So we got Hockey Buffalo.
Yeah.
He organizes events in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam.
Nice.
He's been doing some big things at the Ho Tram Casino.
Brilliant.
I'm going to give him your name, seriously.
Nice.
And there is Bruce in Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. He does Hong Kong. He's organizing Hong Kong's like Hong Kong Muay Thai.
Brilliant.
He's leading it now.
Nice.
He's talking about us going down there.
Nice.
I know I know Cantonese, which is what.
Yeah,
Hong
you
Kong
can translate
speaks.
for me then.
I'll bring you there, bro.
I don't have a clue.
Yeah. We're serious, man. I'm trying to get that started. I'm gonna sign you guys up and see what happens.
100%.
Yeah. So, let's talk about your opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
You probably saw his previous fight.
Yeah.
You know his style. He's kind of like an aggressive rush fighter.
Yeah.
So,
I think. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, like, can you elaborate on how you would defend against an aggressive rush fighter? Because you said you're like a technician.
Yeah, I like to think so.
Yeah. So if someone's aggressive like him, comes in and rushing, what do you do to take that away from him?
I won't say too much.
Okay.
We're only 5 days away, so you'll see on Saturday. But I think it's pretty. Just don't feed into their game. I think that's probably the best way to explain it. Like, can I fight like that? Yes. Is it smart to fight like that against somebody that's their strength? No, obviously. I think you're kind of stupid if you do that. As he said, good distance management and good timing. I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Well, it's hitting 15 minutes now.
Yeah, 15.
It's a good interview. It's really good.
Brilliant.
We're definitely going to see you on the weekend.
For sure.
I'll be seeing you in the weigh-ins.
Yep.
In Martial Arts, at the Martial Arts Center. We chatted up there again. So guys, Reiss Baxter, he's gonna be at trial by fire 16, fighting Muhammad. It's gonna be a banger. These two guys are the up and rising guys. Baxter's coming back from the Muay Thai World Cup win by KO, I think. No, it wasn't. Almost by KO.
Almost
Yeah.
the fifth decision.
Yeah, almost. Yeah,
We'll see.
so it's gonna be a banger, guys. Look forward to it. We'll see you soon. Peace out. Thanks, man.